No, I'm not sitting there. I'm just walking. I want to kick it over. Absolutely. They all the same group? It's coming in now. It's toast. I had no idea. Yeah, that's railroad. Something like that.
If it starts to get
That's probably what
Is there a Cubs kid in there?
I don't see any.
The Men's got to move up here. Okay, just checking. Now it's getting crowded in here.
Have their 5 guys. I stripped the earwax. Everything stripped except for the file in. No, I wouldn't start right there. I guess we should. I mean, there's getting
Okay, so here, no problem. No problem. It's up there. I'll stand over there.
He wanted to. Don't block that camera.
don't talk too loud.
We're probably going to stand on that. So.
That's a good idea. Two victims. Like he's going too, huh?
I'm gonna get help.
Jim.
Stand over there with the firing squad. You can stand over there with the firing squad.
I can't hear you.
You can stand over there with the firing squad.
All right, everyone, let's get started. Call to order the regular committee meeting of May 5th, 2014. This is the open public meetings law, please. Pursuant to the requirements of the open public meetings law, adequate public notice of this meeting has been given. A publication in the required newspapers of the date, time, and location of this meeting within 48 hours in advance.
You're gonna have to speak up, please.
By posting advance written notice on the official bulletin board in the municipal building. By filing advance written notice with the township clerk for the purpose of public inspection. Roll call of officials present, please. Committeewoman Taylor? Here. Committeeman Billy?
Here.
Committeeman Moreno?
Here.
Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Here.
Mayor McCabe? Here. Invocation by Father Ken, please.
Let us pray. O God, we come before you in this season of new life and new beginnings. Open our minds and hearts to new ways of acting, that we might work together, overcome obstacles, and bring a blessing upon our community. In this special way, continue to guide our town council. We particularly bring before you special intentions for those in need among us, those who face the challenge of breast cancer and all forms of cancer, and those who struggle with addictions. Bless us in your mercy. We ask all of these things of you in faith and gratitude. Amen.
And now if you will please rise to salute the flag. Now I would ask John Cowie, please step forward. I have a proclamation for you. I'd like to read to you. Whereas the State of New Jersey Office of Emergency Management has prepared a 2014 statewide hazard mitigation plan, which identified the Ocean County region as an area that is highly vulnerable to forest or wildfires. And whereas in May of 2007, the Township of Barnegat was adversely impacted by a major wildfire referred to as the Warren Grove Forest Fire, which burned approximately 15,550 acres of forests. And as a result, considerable private property damage was experienced in Barnegat, along with the evacuation of thousands of residents living west of the Garden State Parkway. And whereas, in response to the wildfire, the Barnegat Volunteer Fire Company took the initiative to join the National Wildfire Preparedness and Mitigation Program called Ready, Set, Go. And whereas, in 2009, Barnegat Fire was selected as one of 9 pilot fire departments in the United States to initially implement the Ready, Set, Go program, and then Barnegat Fire President John Cowie assumed responsibility for managing the program at a local level. And whereas the Ready, Set, Go program has been tremendously successful nationally, and currently there are nearly 1,000 fire departments that are part of this program. And whereas as a result of the dedication and hard work of John Cowie and Barnegat Fire, in March of 2014, the International Association of Fire Chiefs recognized Barnegat Fire with the Volunteer Fire Company Award of Excellence for their outstanding and commendable work managing the Ready, Set, Go program during calendar year 2013. And whereas the Township of Barnegat is proud of the dedication of the Barnegat Fire, and in particular John Cowie, for securing this national honor, which recognizes the effort of educating the Barnegat community on dangers posed by wildfires. And finally, therefore, let it be resolved that on Monday, May 5th, 2014, the Township Committee of the Township of Barnegat, County of Ocean, State of New Jersey, hereby and officially acknowledges that as a result of the dedicated work of John Cowie and Barnegat Fire, that Barnegat Township is recognized as a national leader in wildfire mitigation, preparedness, and prevention programs, and as a result, a much safer and prepared community. Congratulations.
This has my name in it a lot. I just kind of headed up the program. These guys, Barnegat Fire Company, wants to keep all of our citizens safe, and this is a tremendous program. And the hours that we spent well over almost 700 hours in the last year, 700 man hours in the last year, with this program. So this award goes to these guys, not me.
All right, resolution 2014-231, please.
Resolution authorizing the Township Committee to retire to closed session for the purpose of discussing personnel, public safety, contractual litigation matters.
You're gonna have to speak up, please, or talk into the mic.
I am talking into the
Well,
mic.
you're not.
Not
It's
needed,
hard for me
Mayor.
to hear here. I wonder what the people are back there.
We'll try, sir. Okay, roll call, please. Motion, I'm sorry, motion to table resolution, my apologies.
Second.
Roll call.
Committeewoman Taylor?
Yes.
Committeeman Billy?
Yes.
Committeeman Moreno?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McCabe?
Yes. All right. Find it here, mayor's report. First, I'd like to thank Deputy Mayor Marty LaSala, who joined me last Saturday at what was formerly known as Gazebo Park to honor Frederick Watts, town historian. It was a wonderful ceremony. It was well attended, and we have the appreciation of the family. The plaque was gorgeous, and it's something that the entire town could be proud of. Secondly, I'd like to announce that I received a call, believe it or not, today from the governor's office advising us of two exciting events. First, the granting of $175,000 by DOT to address Harpoon Road. Is it road?
Room Drive.
Harpoon Drive, okay, Drive, which is excellent. The road is wide and large and certainly needs attention. And also that we are receiving $185,000 for the bikeway path on West Bay Avenue, so that can be continued further down the line. So two excellent pieces of news from the governor's office just today. Now I'm going to address something else. I'm going to talk about, yet again, the Sunshine Law. I'd hoped to be able to put this to rest, but unfortunately, due to recent publications, I feel it necessary to readdress, hopefully for the last time. For the past couple of months, individuals have been accusing myself, Deputy Mayor LaSala, and Township Committee Member Billy of violating the Open Public Meetings Act, which is commonly referred to as the Sunshine Law, because of us jointly attending a Board of Education meeting back in February. While it is regrettable that we need to discuss this issue once again, there is a compelling need to clarify the misleading information currently being circulated. First and foremost, as an attorney, the most valuable asset a professional like myself has is their reputation. So when I am falsely accused of a wrongdoing, I will strongly and passionately respond to those false accusations. In this case, I have requested Township Attorney Kevin Starkey review the matter and render a professional legal opinion on whether there was any violation of the state Sunshine Law. While Township Attorney Starkey will provide his report shortly, his findings clearly indicate that there was no violation of the Sunshine Law. Let me repeat that, there was no violation. Furthermore, Township Attorney Starkey had a discussion with the Board of Education attorney regarding this matter and has verified and confirmed the Township version of the events that occurred that evening. In particular, it was I who expressed a concern about the three of us being in executive session, and out of an abundance of caution, only 2 members of the Township Committee participated in all closed session discussions with the board. 2 members is not a quorum and not a violation of the Sunshine Law, as our Township Attorney will soon confirm. However, the most troubling aspect of this matter is that when certain members of the Township Committee were advised by Township Legal Counsel that no Sunshine Law violation had occurred, they continued to speak about it publicly and to the press. This is indeed unfortunate, as it clearly demonstrates a desire to spread falsehoods despite being informed by the Township Attorney that no laws were broken. This type of conduct is textbook slander, and I will make my own personal decision as to whether to pursue a cause of action regarding same. Conversely, based upon the content of the previously distributed newspaper, the Barnegat Leader, it is clear that the rules of executive session were broken, demonstrating that a violation lay between those school board and committee members conferring and disclosing such confidential information, however incorrect. It is counterproductive to the well-being of this community and that the time and effort that has been put into this matter continues. However, it is important that the facts be fully disclosed. I am deeply saddened that some have gone to great lengths to manufacture a problem when absolutely none exists. It is time that members of this committee start working with the productive majority instead of working against those members of this body whose only goal is to move this town forward. Okay, we'll move on.
I'd like to hear the committee, the attorney's report on that, please, because I have a couple questions for him.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. The mayor did ask me to look into alleged violations of the Open Public Meetings Act that have been reported in the press and discussed at this meeting. And first I want to just go through the Sunshine Law. The formal name of it is the Open Public Meetings Act, and the purpose of that is to make sure that any governmental body has its discussions and decisions in an open meeting that are open to the public, that are advertised to the public, who knows about that. What the Sunshine Law says is when there's going to be a meeting, and a meeting is defined as a quorum of the body, so if this governing body is at least 3 or more members meeting together for the purpose of discussing township business or making decisions about township business, then that requires advertising. It requires the reading of a notice that's read at every meeting of this body, which was read here today, about the Open Public Meetings Law, so everyone's aware of what is going on. The mayor asked her to look into the allegations that there was a violation of that law, the Sunshine Law, when the mayor and deputy mayor LaSalle and Committeeman Billy attended a recent meeting of the Board of Education. Now, the Board of Education is also a governmental body subject to the provisions of the Sunshine Law. They also have to advertise when they're having a meeting. This was at a public meeting of the Board of Education where the deputy mayor, the mayor, and Committeeman Billy attended. And what I did in my investigation was I spoke with the mayor, with the deputy mayor, and with Committeeman Billy, who attended there to find out what happened. I also spoke with the attorney for the Board of Education. His name is Ben Montenegro, because I want to find out from his perspective what happened, and he was happy to talk to me about it. What he told me was that the mayor, deputy mayor, and committeeman were in the audience, and at some point in time, the Board of Education said, we are going to go into a closed session, which is permitted under the Open Public Meetings Act. And they invited the mayor, the deputy mayor, and Committeeman Billy to go into the closed room with them. And the attorney told me that immediately upon them all getting into that room together, which is the Board of Ed and the 3 members of this governing body, the mayor raised a concern before any discussion took place about whether or not this would be a violation of the Sunshine Law. The attorney for the board said he wasn't certain it may be, and the mayor then asked Committeeman Billy to leave the room. The significance of that for me as an attorney is that there was not any discussion that took place with 3 members of this governing body in that room of the Board of Education. It is perfectly permitted for 2 members to have business discussions, to make this, actually they can't make a decision on to have business discussions in a closed session meeting or any meeting, because that is not a violation of the Sunshine Law. The attorney confirmed that Committeeman Billy left the room before any discussions took place. They then had some discussions with the mayor and the deputy mayor. That is permitted. It is not a violation of the Sunshine Law. And then that meeting concluded. I then took the further step of asking the mayor and deputy mayor and Committeeman Billy if they had discussions either beforehand or afterwards, the 3 of them, about this matter involving a school. They each confirmed to me that they did not have any such discussions, which would have been a violation of the Open Public Meetings Act. Based on those facts, there was not. So the mayor's asked me to give a formal legal opinion. My formal legal opinion is that there was not a violation of the Open Public Meetings Act by them attending that Board of Education meeting, contrary to some of the reports that have been recently issued. So that is the total of my report.
I'd like to ask a question now. Based on the email that was sent from Mr. Breeden, informing the superintendent that 3 members of this township committee, Committeeman Billy, LaSalle, and the mayor, would be going to the Board of Education meeting specifically to discuss the Edwards School. Although they did not get the opportunity, they had the intent, and 3 of them knew why they were going there because there was an email stating that. Is that a violation of the Open Public Meetings Act?
Now, let me, if I may, I think the terms of the Sunshine Law are important. And for those of you with statutes out there, this is NJSA 10:4-8. It's a definition of a meeting. A meeting includes any gathering, whether corporeal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. Meeting does not mean or include any such gathering that is either attended by less than an effective majority of the members of a public body, or that is attended by or open to all of the members or 3 or more similar public bodies at a convention or similar gathering. Intent is part of what is required under the law. It is also required to have a meeting of at least a quorum of the body.
So with the intent, that was a violation.
If there were a meeting held with 3 or more of the members of the body, it was held with the intent of discussing township business, that would have constituted a violation.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Starkey. Okay, Lenny, you want to go next?
Sure.
All right.
I'd first like to say that myself and Mr. Laseller attended Horizons Firewise. We were taught a lot about fires, and the next day there was a great forest fire. So I think it really showed that by learning what Firewise means and how it operates, right there the next day they had a lot of acres burned. So the people up in Horizons did very well. They're very interested, and I think Mirage is the other one. We learned a lot. Muddy and I learned a lot. We sat there, and the state warden was there, and they did a real good job of teaching the people what to do when there's really a fire coming right at you. We've had that a few years ago, and I think that kind of sunk in everybody's head. We had the deadlock. You couldn't move. So I hope we never have a next one. But I was happy to attend that, and I thank them for inviting us. Also, I attended Harbor Day at Collins School and Horbelt. I had the 2 of them, and again, planted plenty of trees. We had a lot of fun, and it's a good thing. The kids always need that, and it's always good to be involved with the school, with the children. They learn a lot. Also, the breakfast, it was the Fireman's Friday night fish dinner. It was a success, a lot of people. We had a good time. Other than that, I'd like to just announce that my project, Sweet Jenny's, got preliminary approval, and we're moving on. There will be a supermarket in Barnegat. It's been approved. Sweet Jenny's, complex. You have Dunkin' Donuts, you have supermarket, you have Denny's restaurant, and there's a few other items there. It'll be moving on to the state for their approval. It'll come back for final. And the way I see it, I hope they'll be back by the end of the summer and start breaking ground. So you will have a supermarket. I can just about guarantee that.
Which one?
There's 2 or 3 of them that want to come here, believe it or not. So he didn't make any signing. There was one company, a discount super, I don't know the name of it, but there's 3 of them fighting for the battle, so we will have one. It won't be there, it'll be on Route 9. That's all I have.
Guess we're over this way. Committeeman Billy?
Thank you very much. For those of you that do celebrate Cinco de Mayo, congratulations, everybody. When you leave here, let's sing. Happy Cinco de Mayo. Town Hall employees are having a bake sale May 5th through May 10th until 4 p.m. From 9 a.m. to 4. Employees are doing the baking and volunteers are doing the selling. All proceeds go to Mammogram Awareness Program, Paint Your Town Pink, sponsored by Meridian Healthcare I worked today from 10 a.m. to a little after 2. I was relieved by Dorothy, and we ran out of food, I think. And I alone, I know I got $90 this morning just working on that. So please stop by Town Hall in the lobby when you're paying your taxes and pick up a little item for $2 or $3. It really helps. The second thing I'd like to bring up is we are working on, we didn't have a Buy in Barnegat program this year, so we're substituting with a Barnegat Residents Summer Savings Program. I will announce more of it at the next meeting. However, it will be like Lenny always wanted, it'll be a flat 10%, and all you have to do is show your Barnegat resident, that's your driver's license, whatever, and those restaurants and stores will give you a flat 10%. I'm working, thank you, appreciate that, I'm annoy you today. Anyway. But that will run from Memorial Day to Labor Day. I've got to line up all the vendors before I do that on permit. Okay. Now on to the meat of the day. Last week at the April meeting of the Barnegat Planning Board, preliminary site approval was granted to the Route 9 Town Center project, which is commonly being referred to as the Sweet Jenny's project or Denny's project. First and foremost, this commercial project would not have been possible without the township securing the town center designation from the state. It was the vision of this committee and certain planning board members that realized that Barnegat was to be competitive and attract commercial development. Greater productivity, greater productive use of our land had to occur with the town center status. Up to 8% of land can now be used for developmental purposes. Without a town center, that number falls to 30% lot coverage and obviously greatly reduces the ability to utilize the land for commercial purposes. While preliminary site approval has been granted, a significant number of conditions were placed on the project, like not using Old Main Shore Road for delivery trucks, which was a residential area. Realistically, taking into account the numerous conditions and need to obtain many outside approvals. Don't forget, the planning board unanimously approved what they came forward with. Outside approvals, commencement of this project is at least 12 months away. In addition, the developer has verbally requested many concessions from the town, which could very well impact the financial viability of the project. During the public hearing of the planning board the applicant advised the board of the following. There will not be any Trader Joe's store at this location. Several food stores or grocery type of companies have been contacted to occupy the small, which is 15,000 square feet space, allocated for the food store, but no commitments have been made by any supermarket. In fact, it was stated by the applicant that a couple of potential tenants have been reluctant to participate in the process. To date, no leases or contracts have been executed for the property with the exception of Denny's. No tenants have been identified for this site. Receiving preliminary approval reflects the first step of a lengthy process required for development of this site. Please rest assured that this township will work closely and diligently with the developers to make sure this project is open for business as quickly as we can get it, as quickly as possible. Thank you.
I'd just like to say, if you go down there at the site in about a week, you'll see a large sign, coming soon. Thank you.
Committeewoman Taylor.
First, I'd like to apologize that I may have to leave early this evening. I've been ill and haven't slept in 2 days, so I just wanted to say that in advance. Each month, there are items on the bill list that I vote no for. To the public, there are a bunch of numbers that I rattle off. However, if you look at the bill list, you will see that I am voting no for unnecessary attorney fees being spent by this committee. Every month, the firm of Dasty, Murphy, McLaughlin, etc. is being hired by this township committee to provide special counsel. As of today, several thousand of your taxpayer dollars have been spent because there are people on this committee that do not feel comfortable working on certain issues with our township attorney. Some of these issues are research to change our form of government, a shared service agreement, among other items. All of this research was done without my knowledge, and I assume without Mr. Morano's knowledge. You may wonder why this is an issue. It doesn't matter which attorney gets paid, either Mr. Starkey's firm or Mr. Dassey's firm is going to get paid. Well, it does matter because Mr. Starkey's firm charges a flat monthly fee. So every person on this committee can call Mr. Starkey's office unlimited amounts of times without an additional cost. Mr. Starkey can research and prepare unlimited amounts of documents without an additional charge. To think that taxpayer dollars are being wasted needlessly should make each and every taxpayer wonder, where else are our taxpayers' tax dollars being wasted? Also, before people on this committee jump in and say that these are cases that Mr. Dassey has been working on since he was the township attorney a couple of years ago, I would like you to know that the charges that I'm mentioning here are just current charges, and I'm excluding those charges that were previously done when he was still attorney. I am only discussing the items that I mentioned already. At this time, I would like to put forth a motion that all items that are extra charges by any outside attorney must be referred to the entire committee for pre-approval. It's a motion, please.
And I'll second it.
Ask for roll call? Okay. Anybody want to have discussion first, or should we just go to roll call? Okay, roll call?
Committeewoman Taylor?
Yes.
Committeeman Billy?
No.
Committeeman Morano?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Lucella?
Yes.
Mayor McCabe?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Marty, hi. Almost forgot about you.
Almost forgot about myself. All right, thank you, Mayor. I'm going to address the ordinance number 2014-15 that's in for first reading today. On the agenda this evening for introduction and the first reading of this ordinance pertains to the development of the Barnegat Crossing commercial site located at the Garden State Parkway exit. Even with a slightly improving economy, many potential commercial developments in the state and frankly in the nation have been struggling to secure needed financing required to start a project. Under these challenging economic conditions, commercial projects are experiencing extreme difficulty with finding required financing. In the case of Barnegat Crossings, it has not been able to find commercial lender and has prevented this project from moving forward as a purely commercial development. Over the past several months, myself and Mayor McCabe, along with Township Administrator, have been discussing with the builder, Cardinal Enterprises, alternative plans for the site that could be developed. In order for Cardinal Enterprises to secure the required financing to commence with this construction, as a commercial real estate agent, a trend in the industry has been beneficial with jump-starting stalled commercial projects. It is to incorporate a residential element into the development. The mixed-use approach has been very successful with obtaining funding required for commercial projects that have been delayed due to finances. As a result of the township working closely with a cooperative developer, I am pleased to announce tonight that concerns have been reached between the developer, Cardinal Enterprises, and the township that hopefully will allow the project to move forward sometime late in the summer. Even though the blessing of the Planning Board and the Pinelands Commission is necessary for this amended plan, we feel confident, based on some preliminary favorable feedback, that this revised plan will be approved and the shovels will be in the ground sometime in the summer. With over 95,000 square feet in commercial space, Barnegat Crossing will be the largest commercial project in the history of Barnegat. In addition, the residential component will consist of 152 one- and two-bedroom apartments, which will be age restricted. The apartments will be on the second and third floors of this project with their own separate parking located in the rear of the complex. Details of the modified plan are being finalized, but the township is excited as it appears that this mixed-use approach to the project is financially viable
and that the potential of this development will be shortly turned into reality. It should be noted that a few developers have expressed commercial interest in Barnegat. Every proposal presented by these parties have included a residential element with the planned commercial development. This practice is incorporating a mixed-use approach to commercial development is becoming increasingly popular, for it allows greater finance flexibility in order to promote and encourage commercial development in Barnegat. We need to embrace the mixed-use approach if we have any hope of expanding and enhancing our business community. Barnegat must adjust and change to the times in order to be competitive and successful with any economic development effort. Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor LaSala. All right, I'm raising myself. Administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I have a couple reports before we get to the agenda this evening. At the last Township Committee meeting on Monday, April 7th, as a result of an executive session, the Township Committee approved a resolution consolidating Pinewood Estates Volunteer Fire Company into Barnegat Volunteer Fire Company. In essence, Barnegat Township is now covered by one fire department. Immediately after the meeting on Monday, April 7th, the mayor and I went out to Pinewood Estates, in which we provided notice to the president and chief that the consolidation resolution was adopted by the Township Committee and padlocked the facility in order to protect the assets of the township that were inside the building. On Thursday, April 10th, the Township Committee, members of the Township Committee, Barnegat Fire, Barnegat EMS, and Barnegat Police went out to both mobile home parks, Brighton and Pinewood, and made a presentation with regards to the rationale or justification to the consolidation. We covered both financial and operational concerns that the township had and compelled the township to move forward with the consolidation. As indicated at the last meeting, the township is comfortable and confident with the decision that was made from both a financial and operational perspective. When we were at the mobile home parks, both parks indicated a great concern regarding wildfires or forest fires. As clearly indicated here tonight, Barnegat Fire has taken the lead, not only on a state level, but on a national level with regard to preparing for and mitigating the potential damage from wildfires. So any concern that the mobile parks have with respect to wildfires should be properly and promptly addressed by the capable hands of Barnegat Fire. They have proved themselves with respect to, again, taking the initiative and the lead with regards to forest or wildfires. Since the consolidation of Barnegat and Pinewood, there have been approximately 4 incidents west of the Parkway in the Pinewood coverage area. 2 of them were alarm type of calls. One was a car fire and one was a structural fire. Response times were as quick as 3 minutes, but all response times were under the average that Pinewood achieved the first 3 months of 2014 of 13 minutes and 43 seconds. Again, the township can back this up with county communication records. In addition, with regards to the structural fire, there has been rumors and misinformation that Barnegat Fire took anywhere between 20 and 30 minutes to arrive at the scene. That simply is not true. Though the mobile unit cannot be inhabited, the residents of that mobile unit were able to salvage personal belongings out of their mobile unit as a result of the quick action of Barnegat Fire. Again, this Township Committee feels confident, comfortable in the decision that was made as it represents the best interest of this community. We were able to enhance public safety, yet at the same time achieve cost savings that can be reinvested into our public safety infrastructure. With regards to affordable housing, on Wednesday, April 30th, the State Council on Affordable Housing met for the first time in over a year and issued draft or preliminary round 3 affordable housing requirements. For the Township of Barnegat, our round 3 affordable housing requirement is 418 units. Again, this township committee had the vision with respect to developing Laurel Oaks. And with Laurel Oaks, not only did it satisfy our round 2 requirement, but some of our round 3 requirement. Obviously, there's going to be considerable debate surrounding the 418, but as we've been stating since Laurel Oaks development, this township, as a result of its considerable growth potential, will have a significant affordable housing requirement for round 3. Whether it's 418, 318, 292, it will be considerable and significant. At the last Township Committee meeting, a resident approached during public comment and mentioned traffic conditions on Route 72 in front of the mobile home parks. The township had the township engineer go out and review and investigate. The township engineer has produced a document outlining several alternatives or options. The township would like to have an opportunity to discuss it further with the engineer. Some options are low impact, but yet at the same time most likely will have a low impact on the effect that it will have in reducing the concern. Other options are high impact, high cost, and will require the cooperation and assistance of New Jersey DOT. I just want the public to be aware that at the last meeting that was mentioned, we followed up with the township engineer and allow us further analysis of that report and letter of recommendation. Now I'd like to get to the township agenda on page 2. We have several ordinances up for first reading and introduction. Ordinance 2014-13 is an ordinance that simply sells a parcel of township land to an adjacent property owner for $1,200. This land being sold is not buildable. All other property owners adjacent to the land were afforded an opportunity to purchase the land. All of them either did not respond or refused. Ordinance 2014-14, ordinance supplementing and amending the Economic Development Committee. We are increasing the membership by 2 alternate members, along with some very minor change in mission statement and purpose. But the major focus or thrust of the ordinance is to increase alternate members in order to secure a larger possibility of having a quorum every meeting date. Resolution 2014-15, an ordinance amending Township Land Use Code with respect to Barnegat Crossing. As the Deputy Mayor indicated, we are incorporating a residential element into the plan. This mixed design approach has proven to be very successful with respect to financing commercial properties that have been stalled as a result of the difficult economic conditions. There will be 95,000 square feet of commercial out there, in addition to 152 age-restricted apartments. Ordinance 2014-16, amendment to the salary ordinance. We are adding a part-time position of clerk, salary range of I think $8.50 an hour to $16 an hour. Pages 3 through 8 are the standard routine, every meeting, resolutions of tax premiums. You can't hear me? Okay? On page 8, resolution 2014-289, 290, 291, and 292 represent various shared service agreements with surrounding communities. 2 of them were Stafford Township. One deals with Stafford supplying Barnegat with salt brine, the liquid calcium that we put on roads prior to snowstorms. And 291 deals with Public Works, a global or broad-based public works shared service agreement with Stafford with respect to using various equipment and personnel. Resolution 290 deals with a shared service agreement with Ocean to share construction official. Construction official doubles as the community rating system coordinator in addition to the floodplain administrator. Both those positions are very critical to those individuals or property owners that have flood insurance. Both Barnegat and Waretown have been able to secure significant discounts as a result of a very aggressive mitigation program. And finally, 292 deals with sharing or providing road salt to South Combs River. This past winter, when many municipalities and governmental agencies were short on road salt, Barnegat was not. We supplied road salt to 3 municipalities, Tuckerton, South Toms River, and Waretown. On page 9, resolution 296 is a resolution to go out to bid to pave 7 roads in Settlers Landing East with a New Jersey DOT grant in the amount of roughly $250,000. 297 is to go out to bid for improvements to the beach that were damaged as a result of Hurricane Sandy. The township's been able to secure roughly $100,000, but in addition to that, we've been making other improvements there too to mitigate future damage from future storms. Resolution 2014-300 is that the township will be leaving the state health benefit program with regards to prescription drugs and prescription drugs only, and entering another program, Barnegat card, and as a result, the township will save $148,000 over 17 months. Finally, I'd like to go back to page 8, and by far the most important resolution on tonight's agenda, Resolution 285, resolution recognizing the week of May 4th through May 10th, 2014 as Municipal Clerks Week. If I did not mention this, I would be in big trouble tomorrow morning. I'm talking this in black and cold. I just want to publicly acknowledge the effort of Barnegat Township Clerk. I've worked in many municipalities, audited other municipalities, and I would be hard pressed to say that there isn't a finer clerk than Sharon. Sharon does an outstanding job. Available day or night, weekdays or weekends. Many of the Nixle messages that you see that go out late or night or early in the morning, they're from Sharon. Sharon's committed to the township. She's dedicated to the job and concerned about the residents of the community. And again, I'd just like to publicly acknowledge and recognize the hard work and effort that Sharon puts forth on behalf of the township. Sharon? No cash. Oh. Thank you very much. I know I tell you this privately a lot, but publicly, I appreciate, I'm thankful, I'm blessed for everything you do for me as the administrator and you do for the residents of this township. Thank you.
And for the township.
We are praying, with Father Ken, might need a blessing. We are praying that Barnegat Crossing will see that shovel in the ground in July. But I want to tell you that this last few weeks, my friend, and he's in the commercial real estate, so I know how hard he works, he has worked his tail off the last 3.5 weeks, brokering this deal between the banks, between the apartments, between the developer, between the township. And I give credit to the mayor, the deputy mayor, and Dave Breeden. If it comes about, lunch is on me. God bless you. Thanks for all the help. Thank you.
And that's at the Manor, by the way.
At the Manor, yeah.
All right, can I have a motion to open to public comment?
So moved.
Second.
You have to wait to get called on. Please take a seat, sorry. Let me start on this side of the room, lines. We have a word. Start front.
Yeah, exactly.
Please state your name and address for the record.
Angela Belnick, 15 John Drive.
Louder.
Angela Belnick, 15 John Drive. Sorry. I don't do karaoke, so I'm not used to it. At the last township meeting, I was concerned about Committeewoman Taylor's comments that a board member from the BOE had told her what happened at the board executive session.
I never actually said that.
It raised a flag for me as a school law attorney. And I left that meeting thinking that the township attorney had clearly stated that there was no violation of the Open Public Meetings Act. However, I too saw the Barnegat Leader article, and while I had no intention of talking about it today, it did come up at the meeting and I wanted to address some concerns. I would like to stress that the township attorney has eloquently and professionally stated again that there was no violation of the Sunshine Law by the Township Committee. I'm very familiar with the Sunshine Law because I've engaged in litigation regarding it. But what concerns me is that there are other violations that have occurred, not by the members that were at the board meeting, and this needs to be addressed. Based on the comments in the Leader article and what was said at the meeting, what is said in an executive session cannot be disclosed by a school board member. That would be a violation of the school ethics law under Title 18A. Our school board members work very hard, very tirelessly to provide services for this town. They are not compensated. The school ethics code of ethics, the school law code of ethics for those board members is actually much more stringent than what is placed on a township committee. It's very easy to violate. It's very easy to file a cause of action against a school board member. While I have no interest in any litigation with the Board of Ed because I support them 100% with all that they do for our committee, it is a thankless job because the things that they do for us are not tangible. The kindergartners that get great services, we don't know where that will end up. We don't know where that person will be. The township committee is very visible: snow removal, trash removal. And so, by speaking with a school board member who probably did not realize it could cause a violation, now as a taxpayer I'm concerned that someone will file an action against the Board of Ed, an action against the township committee. There may be an action against Committeewoman Taylor personally. And that those attorney's fees would not be covered by the flat fee rate. I'm really disappointed because, well, I was happy to hear that there is a flat rate, but what I'm disappointed about is why wasn't the township attorney consulted before comments were made to the Barnegat Leader? And so I think that article could be support for any complaint against the Board of Ed and the Township Committee. Our professionals are important. They're here for a reason. And I just want to stress that if you want to get information about what happens in an executive session, you should file a request under Oprah. And if those session minutes are available, you'll get them. But you should not talk to a board member asking for that information because they might accidentally say something that they shouldn't have, and then it's going to cost the taxpayers. We're going to pay their attorney's fees, we're going to pay the township committee's attorney's fees, so we lose. That's all I have to share. Thank you.
I'd like to respond to this, please. First of all, if you remember, the mayor last week or the last meeting brought up initially that she was brought into executive session. And I did not bring that up first. I never said that I was told by a school board member. I also was a school board member for 5 years, so I do know all of the ethics implications for school board. So that was the first thing. Secondly, if you also listened carefully to our attorney this evening, he also said that there is the intent for 3 people at a meeting is a violation. So I did not speak out of turn, and I am not just throwing false allegations around.
Mr. Starkey, can you address that?
Until the end, and I'll address that.
Anybody else?
Oh, I'm sorry, no, I meant to.
Okay, hold on, sorry, I'm confused, my bad. Are you
I'm done.
Can you
Yes,
say,
thank you.
okay, Mr. Starkey, can you address?
Yeah, I want to share my opinion. I read a definition of a meeting from the Open Public Meetings Act. A meeting includes any gathering of 3 or more people held with the intent of conducting public business. That seems to have been lost, and I just wanted to be clear on what I said.
We heard it. Thank you, Mr. Starkey. Okay, back to Phil.
And don't look at me, I'm gonna give you help. I've been holding my arm up here for an hour.
Hold on for, okay. Phil, would you let him go first? Okay, thank you, sorry about that. You're next.
Joseph Lesneski, 102 Spruce Lane, Pinewood Estates. I have some questions I want to ask you. First of all, when we had that fire in the bombing range, I didn't see Barnegat Fire Department over there helping us. It was Pinewood Estates that were helping us over there. That's one. They were there. They come around and told us to get out so they wouldn't get burnt out. But that's one. The second one is, since when do you donate something to a person and then come with a bunch of FBI's and police with locks and everything and take everything and lock up the store so people can't get in there?
Is that a question?
Yes, that's a question. Why? I can't give you something, then come with the police and say I want it back. You donated that land to the Pinewood Estates Mobile Home Park, to the fire department. You can't take it back.
We got the deed.
They just paid off the mortgage. Now you want that building?
$5,000.
I'll defer to the township attorney.
So there is a provision in the deed. The deed was given years ago. There is a provision that will revert to the township.
Yeah, how old is that provision? When you people got in?
The age of it doesn't matter.
Yes, it does matter.
Legally, it does not. It does not, sir.
You mean our hands are tied, you can do anything you want to do, right?
We're not going to turn this into a court of law. The attorneys can hash that out, okay? Do you have any other questions?
So that's it.
Okay, thank you, sir. Phil, sorry. Come on out.
I'll wait till he sits. Phil Checky at 12 Windward. Going through a bad winter and everything we had, I have to say the town, from the outside, without looking politically, is doing fantastic. I am not going to comment on what happened at the school board meeting until this past meeting's minutes are passed. Because there are some things in there that I want documented, and then I'll speak my piece on this whole thing. I also have a problem with giving builders apartments. That's the new thing, apartments. But you don't understand. First of all, I don't believe he has the money. Because I talked to him 3 years ago and gave him so many leads that you would not believe that he never even called. Because I called some of those people. And they were heavy duty, including Chop and a few people. That I gave the real estate people at those places some heads up. That will cost us. Now you know for every residence that this town builds, you may get $1 in taxes. But it cost us, in the long run, another 30 to 40 cents. Even age restricted. Now that's going to, where's he going to get the money to put the elevators, the handicap, etc., etc.? Everything now that he does has to be handicap approved. Whether, not as a shopping center. Now he's going to incorporate. It's going to cost us probably more money to cover that with services that he's going to give us back in taxes. Because he has no one signed up. So there's no shovel going to be done. Because if it was, money's cheap, he would have built. I can tell you this, he was a member of the, anyway, I won't get into that. I don't think he has the money. Okay? The other is transparency. is my most important objective when I come up here. Because it's not easy to run the town. But I gotta tell you, thank God you have David Breeden, and I don't care what they say about anything about contracts, has nothing to do with it. The town, you could see what's being done. Some people don't like it, some people like it. Most people like it. But I do have to say this, that the way that went down at the school board meetings is not what I heard tonight, and that's all I'm going to say. I will come with the minutes to let you see everything that's going on. But anyway, I hope everything works out for you guys, but you know, there's conflicts, inferences, you know, the inference of an impropriety is worse than the impropriety itself. Because that means you tried to get away with it, you did, but you skated. You can't do that. And just a reminder, real estate licenses, sellers, when you talk real estate, you have to make it known that you're a real estate agent and where your license is from. So you can't go in like you wanted to go in, even though you wanted to do good. You can't do that. You're in conflict. Because the worm, it's like a worm into your computer. Hands in real estate are a certain few, so the money goes around. I'm not saying that money's coming your way or your way. The conflict, or the inference, I should say, of a conflict is more important, not to show the public. But you can't do things wanting to put a building on Route 9 to replace this without discussing with the public first. It's their money. You did good, but we'll discuss this at the next meeting.
Thank you, Phil.
Ma'am?
Membership from last meeting.
Jean Durkis, 200 Rollway Road, Barnegat. I just have one thing to say. I was at the school board meeting that night, and the 3 council people were there, sitting behind me at closed session. All 3 got up and went with the Board of Education into closed session. I did not stay because they had insinuated the closed session would be very long. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I would like to publicly thank all the members of Station 12.
You need to say your name and your address.
Oh, Deborah Belinsky, 101 Basswood Drive.
Thank you.
First, I would like to publicly thank all the members of Station 12, more commonly known as Pinewood Estates Volunteer Fire Company, for their years of service to our community and surrounding communities when called upon. Your selflessness and dedication are worthy of commendation, not the public air of humiliation and ridicule. Mayor and members of the committee, I really would like you to pardon me while I turn my back on you the way you turn your back on them. To the residents of Pinewood Estates and Barnegat Township, this is nothing more than a political maneuver attempting to showcase a fictional cost savings of $1.1 million over the next year due to this consolidation effort. The savings will happen for sure, but not for any reason of consolidation. The savings will result from not purchasing any fire apparatus this year. Committee Morano said it best. At no time was there any discussion with Station 12 about this takeover. In fact, the members of Station 12 were told on numerous occasions by Mr. Breeden that this was just a rumor. This rumor was a fact which has been identified as one that was calculated and assessed in depth. When questioned at the private public meeting held at Pinewood Estates why Mr. Breeden lied to them regarding this situation, there was no answer from the administrator. Upon asking the question in another fashion, the mayor stated, "It's none of your business, sir." It is his business when he's attempting to expose the truth related to this action. Why was it necessary to lie to these fine volunteers and the residents of this township? Any attempts at consolidation could have been handled in one of these offices. You could sit down at a table, talk with all parties involved, lay your concerns on the table, and then come up with a plan of action. But instead, Station 12 was blindsided by the township. The firefighters were treated like common criminals, locked out of their firehouse, told by the police department that anyone entering the property would be arrested. This doesn't sound like consolidation to me. To the contrary, it reeks of hostile takeover. I was very fortunate to be present at that meeting in Pinewood Estates Clubhouse, and I wonder why only residents of the two mobile home communities were given the opportunity to hear Mr. Breeden's presentation. There are many other single-family residences and businesses within the Station 12 service area who were not afforded the same opportunities. Why were those residents and businesses not made aware of this situation? What precipitated the restrictive nature of these meetings, and what caused the overwhelming police presence at the two meeting locations? More importantly, I wonder why the members of Station 12 were banned from these meetings. Maybe it was because the township didn't want the concerned residents to know the truth. One incident spoken of by Barnegat First Aid representative was regarding a delay in cutting an accident victim out of a car on 539. The delay was unacceptable. I agree 100%. What wasn't said is that Station 12 requested all hydraulic lines be replaced on their rescue truck following a previous hydraulic leak and subsequent pump failure. Barnegat Township did not make the repairs as requested to ensure that the aging hydraulics were safe and dependable. What also wasn't said was that Barnegat Fire Company boasts on their website in depth how they directed and executed the extrication effort. At that accident scene, a mechanical failure involving the hydraulic system caused a delay on behalf of Station 12. It had nothing to do with the level of training, expertise, or experience of the Pinewood firefighters on the scene. So who should shoulder the blame for this 42-minute failure? Barnegat Township, and more specifically Mr. Breeden, shame on you. This is all yours for failing to properly maintain the life-saving equipment as requested by those who have to operate it. What financial savings will this township see other than $1.1 million? There's not going to spend on apparatus? I don't foresee any measurable savings. In fact, if you go through with the intention to repaint those green fire trucks and re-letter them with expensive gold leaf, you'll be wasting taxpayer dollars. If Station 12 is to remain open and operating under the name of Station 11, there can be no measurable savings. The associated bills still have to be paid, utilities, insurance, maintenance costs. What will remain? Everything intact. Hence, nothing saved. There is something lost here, however. You have lost the manpower in close proximity to respond to this station. That loss is the reason for the 30-minute response time on April 27th.
Thank you, ma'am.
You let Phil go 3 minutes over. You claim a significant decrease in response time with your consolidation. A response of 10 minutes and 29 seconds was quoted by Mr. Breeden. Epic fail number one, Mirage. 11 minutes from Station 11 to Mirage. Epic fail number two, the Pinewood fire. I won't go into all of it because I'm running out of time, but I will tell you this. We still have no ambulance. We still have 18-minute response time to Brighton at Barnegat by Barnegat First Aid. That was promised. As a result of the Berkeley fire, a truck rolled out of that station, 11-2 as it's now known, with one man on the truck. I can guarantee you that Pinewood would never have done that. It's not safe. Okay? And when he did sign on the radio, he said he was responding to Station 11 to pick up personnel. Your sign out front says that this station is open and ready to respond. Well, if you have to take a truck from out there and bring it down here to pick up firefighters so you can go the rest of the way, you're not ready. Anybody want to finish reading my statement?
What are the rest of my minutes? Go, take the rest of my
How many minutes did you have, Joe? 5.
I'll give it to John.
Dr. Elizabeth Marino, I'm at 183 Bayshore Drive in Barnegat. I'm here for a request of getting a smoke-free parks and recreational area ordinance placed in Barnegat. I can give you my own personal experience.
I'm not trying to cut you off. Did you send a correspondence in that regard?
I did.
Okay, I have
Got
that,
it.
and I believe,
Excellent.
I know my deputy mayor has it as well. Was it sent to all committees?
Yes, I think I did.
Okay, everybody has received a copy, and I want to thank you for that. Okay, go ahead.
I'm just going to give you my personal experience. There's one by being a doctor, but my own personal one. I had gone down to the dock with my husband, and we wanted to see the new dock, lovely done and everything. And I was about to get out of the car, and I opened the door and got a whiff of smoke and couldn't get out of the car. I have pretty bad asthma, and smoke in particular is tremendously irritating. So I didn't get to enjoy our dock. And I feel as a taxpaying citizen I should be able to, and that is one big deterrent for me. And it's not just me, it's also a big problem with everyone in terms of secondhand smoke. So, that's what I'd like to ask. I have Deborah Levinson here with me who can offer a lot of help from the state through
Ocean Monmouth Health Alliance. We used to be the Cancer Coalition, and what we do is we educate everybody about the harmful effects of secondhand smoke. And in Ocean County, 86% of the people do not smoke.